The cutting board uses a little bit of a different technique than we're used to. Normally we would just get our foam brush and slap the paint right on there, but instead we want to be able to see the wood grain through the paint. So you get your baby wipe, mine's dirty because I used it for something else. Get your baby wipe and wrap it around 2 fingers, dip it in your brown paint, so you have like that much on there, and then start wiping it in the direction of the wood grain. So mine is going this way, and as you can see, it almost just looks like a stain instead of paint. And I just want to work in small sections, making sure to wipe it as evenly as possible so it looks even, so it's not built up in certain areas. If after the first time you're not happy with the coverage, you can always build on that. If you go back over it, once it's completely dry, if you go back over it, it's just gonna keep getting darker and have more coverage. So you could eventually make it so that it looks like paint if that is the look you want. You would just need to do it a few times. And it dries super fast, which is nice. If it's been a while, like if I send these kits and you just don't get to it for a while so that your baby wipe is dried out, you can just, because you don't want it wet, that's gonna soak into the wood and it's gonna raise the grain and blah blah blah. So you could like spritz it with some water, or sometimes what I do is I like get my hands wet and then like dry them off with the baby wipe, basically. Okay. When you're happy with the coverage, there's a couple places where I went a little bit heavy, so I'm just gonna use quite a bit of pressure to wipe that off, but I'm pretty happy with that. It looks good in person. The back of mine, I was testing out different browns to find one that I liked. Okay, then I am going to do, what is this? My Words Black. To create less waste, I'm not going to send the paper plates and the paper anymore. I'm just going to have you unfold your boxes and you can use that. That way I won't feel as bad, like I'm wasting a bunch of hurting the environment. Okay, dip your wedge in, can you see? And then just paint your words. This is old news to most of you, if not all of you. I'm going to do a couple coats just like always. I'm going to do my words black. I'm also going to do my stands black while I have the black out. I will do my stars white and then the little greenery green. And then we will come back on here when it's time to put everything together. Remember to open your super glue over the board or the box and not your project. I'm going to do my words first. Same as always, you don't have to glue every single piece. I'm just going to kind of hit the edges. And then I scored a guide on all the cutting boards, so it makes it much easier to line up and place everything. And just a tiny bit of glue goes so far. And hold it down for just a few seconds. I'm going rogue. I didn't go in order. Make sure you wash your hands after you're done painting if you have paint on them, so that you don't transfer. Whoops. And if you do a little bit too much like I did, I just barely tap it down to kind of on the box to remove some of that excess glue so it doesn't squirt out everywhere. Okay, now as far as the stars, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do a little bit there. I'm going to focus on getting these 2 points as straight across as possible. Let's see if I did not let the glue dry too long. Okay, I started mine in the middle. You don't have to do that, but it's easier for me to kind of have a guide. Because even though I scored the stars in there, I have to score them a little smaller than the actual star so that you can't see it through. So you will have to make sure that you eyeball it to keep it straight. Okay, one more. And it lifted up. That's okay. Maybe my paint wasn't completely dry right there. It's not wanting to stick. Okay, and then the greenery, I'm just gonna do the ends and then like random leaves throughout, and then just kind of eyeball it so that it's somewhat in the middle and straight. I tried to line it up with that middle star. See if that star is sticking. Okay, it did. And then we're going to put our stem together if it's dry. And there you have your cute little restaurant rating cutting board.